And if you are new to my channel, please subscribe. Today we are going to look at Apache POI, which is a powerful Java library for reading and writing Excel, Microsoft Word, and PDF documents. But today we are going to focus mostly on the writing the Excel. First, let's create a project. We need to create a project or open an existing project. In my case, I'm going to use this default project, which is I've already tested it with. And now you have to determine which version you are going to use, which is right here, your minimum SDK. If it is up to 26, you will use the latest this thing. If it is less than 26, you'll be using 4.1, which I'm going to show you in this video, which always be a problematic issue for us to use. But first, let's test what is this. We have the access being read here. You can see the laptop is this. Now let's add and use something. Let's click on the product. They say product name. I'm going to type back item, the count of it to 29. The price is 2,000. It's a receipt that is coming to the shop, but this is just for lesson purpose. Then we click save. See that the bag is there. I've implemented a save. When you close the app, it will save automatically, and then or reopen it, you see that it's there. Okay, that is what we are going to cover to create and reopen the existing file and add files to it. See that this file was already there. Now let's go through it in the main activity where we are starting this thing. We have created this thing, but before we go there, let's go to the main issue, which is adding the library. Now you can see it is being shown here. Let me copy this Apache POI. If you have already implemented this on Java, you can see you have a great advantage. Click on the add board here, then library dependencies, then use press that, search for it. Now when you do that, if I click on this, you can see that the latest is 5.2.5, but for API level 21, just like I opened the library and showed you before, you need to come and reselect it when you click OK. When you click OK here, click OK, then you select it again, come back to this version, and then select. I'm scrolling again, select this particular version 4.0.1. Please, 4.0.1. I already have it here, so I don't need to add it again, and then cancel. Now the next thing that we need to add, because we are using a lower version, there is a missing dependency in it, so we are going to add a dependency here, which is Java XSLML stream. And remember, when you are using this particular version, you are going to use only for the old Excel environment. The latest Excel cannot be accessible for you to use them. Search Java XML stream, and you get that the stack API is there for you to use. I'll cancel because I already have it. I'll cancel this one again. But in your case, you need to click OK for you to synchronize, allow it to synchronize with this thing. Now, after this, we have created an executor service because creating this Excel file do not require you to do it in a main thread. You require for you to do it in a background thread. So you can see the service being created here for the thread. Let's scroll down. You can see where I'm adding my products. Add products is here. I'm using a drop down, but if in case I didn't want to use a drop down, I would have just clicking on add product. This is where we add the products. Add products, except add products, then add to the product list. If this add product succeeded, as it throws that adding product has an error. When you finish adding a product, it's there to the list. When you close the program, where is my on stop? Let me go to my on stop. On resume, if you can look at it, it's in on resume that we are loading those products. Then in our on pause, when you pause the app, the screen close, it saves what you have on the app, or it told you that it's a problem with saving. You can see it's still running on the background thread. When it runs on the background thread, executors are executed on the background thread. If it saves, it gives you that you toast on the UI thread. Run the UI thread. If you try to do this, set any field, run the UI thread, or else it will throw you an exception that you cannot set view on the background thread. Okay, that has been done. Now let's look at what the magic our helper is doing. We have two helpers here, Excel helper, which is for 26 and above, Excel helper LXX, which is for a higher version, a lower version of the Excel that always carry this Excel type xls, and that is on. Now let's look at how we're creating it. Then we get a file path. File path, that depends on you where you want to store it. You just give the file paths, but I'm appending this at the end of the day that at least you have the needed file type. So when you create this thing in this Excel, let's look at the differences between them. This one is HSS worksheet, HSS sheets workbook here, HSS workbook, HSSF worksheet. Comes to this particular one, let's look at what would be the different XSS sheet, XSS workbook. So that is the only difference. The other things I have to engage in it almost the same, not 100%, but almost the same. And in this new one, you can use their file system for 7, which is optimal as compared to the input stream that we're going to use in this particular one. Now, first, you need to open the file and say, okay, and once you initialize this, you set the path. And when you want to open the file, it shows access the file. If the file existed, it should try to open a file, and you say try. You can see the try here. Try file input stream. We get an input stream. Then we pass the input stream to HSSF workbook. We initialize it here. If the initialization is okay, or it will throw an exception, and then we get the sheet products. If the sheet product does not exist, we create a new sheet product. Then we create a row for that. We create the first row, which is the header row for it. As if the file does not exist, look at the S here. It's creating the worksheet without any file path, and then create the worksheet for products, create header row, return true. And that is all. Open new, you know that this that is here is almost, it's the same, just you can return open new here and it still works. But space it up for you to see. Now let's look at where we are saving it. I'll talk about saving. When you want to save, try again, but we're still throwing an exception if something happens when you want to close the workbook. File input stream. The input stream take the file path that we during the creation. Then write out your file input stream that close. This is so redundant since we are using a closable try catch. And that is essentially all that we have for this. Now some will ask, like, how are we creating it? Let's go back to this and let's look at the test version of it, because this using with the view may not give you the exact feeling of it. Let's now use the one that says the minimum SDK of 21, which is load product for 21. I will go through it, but first let's run it, declare it. Now usage. First, let me create that our file now is going to be test, and then we are creating new listing based on this file name. Based on the Excel file test, you can see Excel helper 1, and then we execute open new. Remember, open new, just open a new Excel file without considering, know that it's not going to exist, not minding if it exists. Then creator, we are going to, as helper 1 is going to add a product, add 1, add product. So let's go into add products sharply and see. Add product is going to check the existing, the last row, and then add 1 to it if it exists. If there's no data in it, you just say that there's no data in it. Else it should add row. Now the row is okay. Create a new row. When we create a new row, create a new product. Let's look at how we are creating a product. You can see products, the class that we have, and a row. Now this row, cell 1, row.create cell at column 0, Say one that set value, product.get name. Just continue for other values too. Now let's look at how do we create our headers. Just the same thing, create header, we'll pass the sheets, then header row, create row 1. First you create a row. Now the sheet is going to do another thing. Let's see, header say 1, just like the same as we have in the products. Now the first one is name, counts, second, like that. You continue adding, add index 0 to the last index of which you have. Then last index is description. First of all, let's run this thing using this new method of which I have here, which is loading for the 21. We're going to have just 2 products there for the Excel test, and I'm going to go through it to see. You create 2 products, you save it. That means you close the Excel. Now we have the initialization of this one. We are going to open this thing that we saved. Then we get the list of those products, and we set on the list view. That is all that we have done here. I will have the reference in the description. I'm going to put it there. That is all. But first of all, where do we save our this thing? It's right here. What are these files? Let me see. Someone may be asking the test. This is the test. I'll open it with the Excel. Yep. Or you can look at it. It can be opened with the Excel. So you can find new method of maybe sharing it. You can, in your app, you want to, after you create Excel, you want to share it. You can share or sync to a server. You can sync to a server. I also log the path to the place where I'm saving it. So what we have just done now is adding the library. If you need to know more about library or method I have to do with these two, you can search online, you can get it, or you can message me what you want to achieve and I'll try it out for you to see. That is all. And this description, in the description, like I said, you will have everything. But if you are using API level 26, you will not need to add this particular thing, this library. Remember, add this optional library for that might drop my button sheets, the material com.google.android.material. So that one and other views. Now, like I said, what my advice, use this one if your minimum SDK is less than 26. Use the Excel helper, which is the main one, if you are using SDK 26 and above. But what I've used in this tutorial is this particular one, which is the lower one, which is the one that normally gives issues. And I advise stick to 4.0.1. Thank you for staying tuned. If you have any question, please comment and subscribe to my channel. The product types are here, just description of a type. You can look at it. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.